The anime tells the story of three realms among the universe: the heaven, the human world, and the underworld. The life among these different worlds is formed by spiritual ki, and in order to keep the balance between them all, the circulation of spiritual ki has to be maintained and preserved. The ones who are responsible for collecting spiritual ki are called the black and white, and they are from the underworld. As always, Black, who's called Wang Hang, wakes White telling her they will be late and she must wake up or she will get her bonus cut. They start running in the street of their city. This pair actually had never get any bonus, but they don't want getting yelled at by Mr. Yan. In the place, Mr. Yan feels so angry because the two kids are late, but Sha Xiaomi convinces him to stay calm since these two kids are irreplaceable and unique. Well, let's first understand what they do. As we said, in order to keep the spirits fields of the three realms stable, the spiritual ki resides in dead human body will be collected and sent to the ghost city of Fengdu to be redistributed to other humans that are coming to life. Black and white are the ones who are responsible for the collection of spiritual ki, and there is monthly spirit collection tasks they must reach. Unfortunately, they didn't collect any. Mr. Yang is yelling at them, asking them to focus on their work, so they rush to the ship which takes them to the human world where they can catch some spirit. As they arrive, they find a lost spirit in a kid's body. It is so powerful, and after chasing them, it realizes how good the siblings are at escaping. They decide to take the fight up to a roof of a high building where the spirit got rid of the body and shows its true face. White tried using her chain to attack, but her opponent is way stronger and faster, so it beats her, and after falling down fainted, the spirit gets closer to kill them both, but Lu Chu comes at the right time and kills it. Well, she takes the bonus, of course. Behind the screens, Sha Xiaomi sees everything and prays for them to do a better performance next time. Back to Mr. Yan, who yells at the two Empire Black and White for failing in their mission, until Zhang Qi arrives to inform him about Tennessee Seal, which is getting weaker and might not last much longer since Wandering Spirit are out of control. On the other side, the two kids are given a new mission to cover their failure before the end of the day. They arrive to the room of the target, and in order to kill him, they will create an accident to make his death more realistic, and for this, they decide to use a flower pot to throw it on him when he passes by the building. But first, they have to get him out of the room. Outside, while they search for a pot, they see the guy taking a taxi, so they follow him. He stopped in an animated cartoons company where he shows his artwork to the manager, who refused to even take a look at it. She tells him that his cartoons are empty of dirty scenes which are highly demanded, and insulted him for being such an old school cartoonist, the thing which broke his heart. He goes upstairs to the roof where he sees the girl he likes, hanging out with another man, and he gets depressed, standing on the edge, planning to jump and end his life. The two kids watch him carefully, waiting for the moment when they will be able to collect the spirit, but as soon as the guy jumps, they rush to save him, and since people cannot see those magical creatures, they all get impressed of how the man survived after jumping from high building. They took videos of him, and the fact that he might get viral in the next days made the manager want to cooperate with him. The kids turn into tears after realizing they failed again in the mission. Back to the seal, and the ones watching it realize how bad the crack is enlarging, and they only have 3 days before it breaks. Zenki reveals their need for Ginkgo cannon, and his servant confirms they have no choice. Suddenly, the cracks start enlarging faster, and they may not stand for 3 days. The situation starts getting out of control. Lu Chu and her partner train as usual until a messenger of the court comes and informs them about the bad situation of the Great Seal, and also asks them to leave to Mount White because Wang Hang got lost there when carrying out a mission. The mission was given by Sha Xiaomi, and it stand on killing an old man, but things went wrong since Wang Hang and his sister were so kind with the target. An old man who convinced them to take him to the bottom of Mountain White, where they get attacked by a sea monster. The boy wakes up to find himself in deserted land, while the girl is saved by Zenki, who tried to understand the story from her. Sooner after this, they get the information that the seal has reached its tipping point and it might collapse at any time. Back to the boy, who starts seeing illusions of his sister everywhere, and it feels like he starts losing his mind. White asks Zenki about what goes in, so he explains in the bottom of the Mountain White there is a place that seals 100 ghosts. 1,000 years ago, Mr. Zong sealed 99 evilest ghosts of all times, and the sea monster they have seen should be the spirits of the ghosts that leaked out and gathered. And before he finished the idea, the seal breaks and it gets damaged completely. In the deserted land, Wang Hang meets a new guy who tells him that he has been trapped over there for over 1,000 years and draws a weird smile on his face. Back to the seal, where all ghosts are out and the hunters encircle the Tennessee in order to chase them. The weird guy tells Wang Hang about the place they are in. It is the home of the wandering spirits imprisoned for 1,000 years. Then he explained how they were of high prestige before getting in a fight with the guys of the underworld. Then he points at Wang and tells him that he belongs to them and leaves him in shock. Zhang Qi meets a huge ghost named Liu Liangmin who promised to take his revenge, and they seem to know each other very well because Zhang Qi caught him and sealed him. The ghost attacks, but only one spit from the man is enough to destroy him. Zhang Qi asks the hunters to get the Ginkgo cannon ready and wait for his orders. Wang Hang is surprised by what his opponent said and gets ready to attack him, but suddenly that wandering spirits start absorbing ghosts, which is impossible for normal spirits, and only soul eaters can do this. Then he raises his head to say the same thing again, and he seems to be so sure Wang Hang belongs to them. Zhang Qi decides to go underwater where Black is in order to save him, but this time he asks his servant to be careful, and in case if he doesn't return in 1 hour, then they must fire the Ginkgo cannon and destroy the Great Seal, and this will lead to his death with the little boy. The wandering spirit experiences Wang Hang's strength and keeps considering him as one of his kind. Then he reveals his name and asks the boy to remember it well, Zhang Zhang Wuzi. Then he promises to take him to another world. This time the boy understands where he is, inside the Great Seal, and the person in front of him is the most powerful ghost. Then the enemy makes the boy absorb ghosts as much as possible in order to make him stronger, while Zhang Qi finds soldiers waiting for him in the gate which takes to the Great Seal. Those soldiers are the strongest ghosts, and by observing the gate, they feel huge power coming out, and it refers to the reunion of the bad spirits. Back to the ship, where the power system shows a strange spirit power coming out of the seal. Lu Chu feels something has happened to the kid. It is whether the spirit whirlpools or his identity. Then she comes out with a conclusion that he's the 100th evilest ghost. Inside the seal world, the two Sang Wuzi and Wang Hang are in a serious fight after the gate got totally changed and his opponent keeps talking about the past time when they first met. Zhang Qi and the ghosts are about to start fighting as well, and he threatens them by the way he killed Liu Liangmin, and they seem to be well prepared for this moment, and they get closer to him. Unexpectedly, the hunter summons the ghost-killing sword and shocks them, since they didn't know his ghost spirit can support that, and by one hit, he defeats them all. Back to the fight inside the seal, where Sang Sang hits the boy with his powers and makes him recall a weird memory of a little girl holding her elder brother's hand. The boy freezes and does no move, so his enemy keeps doing what he started and makes him recall more memories of him when he was a kid and his mother showing him his little sister named Huan, and at the same time, Sang Sang tries to absorb Wang Hang. On the ship, Mr. Dragon observed how strong the ghosts become since they could destroy the system. Suddenly, one of the screens is related to the cameras inside the seal, shows how Sang Sang tries to swallow Wang and the arrival of Zhang Qi. Ghost King feels mad after seeing this and attacks Sang Sang. Black has been swallowed awfully, and unfortunately, his sister saw it. Zhang Qi furiously used the ghost-killing sword, but his opponent happily and confidently fights back. The enemy after this takes us to the memory of that little boy when he lived in a castle, being raised to love his sister. His mother seemed to be the queen, and his little sister Huan is the princess, but their life was about to change when all ministers gathered urging to take a decision about the princess, since the rumors said that she's ominous and she is a fox spirit and her being alive will lead to the destruction of the country. The innocent boy did a pinky promise with his mom to keep an eye on his sister and protect her forever. And after that, the next scene shows the three identities of the boy gathering together in his mind: the prince, the ghost hunter, and the demon. The place they are in is called Nothingness, and again, we go through the prince's memory to the time when he was a kid, trying to improve his skills in order to be his father's protector. The queen was worried about the country since she heard the rumors about her daughter, so she asks the general, who tells her they must be prepared, but often there are some signs before the collapse of a country. After the birth of Huan, certain instability appeared. The natural disaster, chaos and wars had slowly leading the country to its decay. And during the wars between dynasties, the mother had to hide her two kids in a hideout in the castle and ask them to look for General Xu if they need any help, and the enemies attacked her right after this. In the ship, Lu Shu and Mr. White Dragon prepare the Ginkgo cannon, but it needs more time to launch it. At the same time, they are worried about Yan Liang, especially after she got shocked in a very bad way. Lu Chu explains to White that Ginkgo cannon is the most dangerous weapon in their world, and also, she and Wang are not brother and sister. He was a demon and harmed the mortal realm and killed many innocent people, so she has no reason to be sad. In the past, when they couldn't kill this demon, they had to erase his memory and seal his soul in a kid's body. All this conversation is seen by the three identities of Wang, and the demon tries to destroy the image of the family. Another identity shows up of a young boy wearing simple clothes. In his memories, he lives with his sister Huan, and one day, he rushes to tell her that he finally found the General Xu, in a full confidence that he will not harm them. However, not all glittery things are gold. The general brought his soldiers, and unlike what the mother thought, he came to take the boy away. However, Huan shows the fox spirit and kills them. So they continue to live in peace. One day, the boy went out to find some food, and Xia Xiaomi arrived to take his sister. Also, an unparalleled black and white pair arrived and got surprised after seeing Xia Xiaomi, so they invite her to the underworld to make things clear. In the city, the boy heard what people say about executing the princess, his sister. He rushed to save her, but they didn't let him in. He saw how they killed her in the most horrible way. After covering her arms, head and legs to 5 different horses and making them run in different directions, they literally torn her to pieces. Mr. Lee and one of the soldiers go to the Court 6 in order to ask for help from Mr. Xu, but on their way they meet Yan Renju, called also Leopard Tail, the general of the underworld, and also Siko Tongrang, and they ask him to show the way to Mr. Xu, but they refuse since no Impala Black and White go to the Court 6 under any condition and ask for Zenki instead. When they refuse to bring Ghost King, Siko prepares himself for a fight, but luckily Mr. Dongting, the most powerful general of the underworld, interrupts with Fufu, and they give the authorization to Lee to keep moving forward. Back to the ship where the weapon is ready, and the team cannot reach Zenki, and as he told them, it's been now more than an hour and they have to fire the weapon. White cries because by doing this, the kid she considers as a brother will die. Inside the seal, the fight is always on between Zenki and Sang Sang, but it is too late. Lucho and White Dragon decide to fire the weapon, so Little White jumps to save her brother. The boy in the nothingness got convinced that family is not worth fighting for, because he saw how his sister got convinced by his death and feels betrayed. Ghost King reveals he doesn't have intention to kill Sang Sang, but this time he went too far and he must pay for it. And Sang Sang also will not take it easy, but suddenly he falls down. The boy he swallowed is coming out for revenge, totally different body full of hatred and enmity. The first season ends here, leaving a lot of question. What happened to Little White, Lee in the Court 6, Wang Hang's mother, and the General Xu? Don't forget to wait for the next season. Stay safe, take care.